Hey, it's Juck, and welcome into Juck on Bucks. A couple technical issues, and the first it's working. The very first Juck on Bucks live, and welcome in. So, the spring game was today. The shoe had about 80,000 people on a really beautiful day. I talked to some buddies who were at the game. Everybody had a great time. The whole crew was there for Fox, and the broadcast really irritated me a lot. We're talking so many split screens and interviews that I missed a lot of plays. My eyes aren't getting great. And when they do the split screen and I miss what quarterback is in on what series, I'm over here taking notes and getting really irritated. But it was fun to see Joel Klatt on the field talking to Ryan Day. Ryan Day was coaching Lincoln pretty hard there for a minute there. It was really nice to see him talk about the end zone, the goal line, the 12th man or the 12th line. And boy, this Coconut Dreams, my buddy there. Sorry, guys. This is my first time. I'm just getting acclimated to the live here. But one thing I noticed was Luke Montgomery was not starting at right guard. Now, we had kind of been led to believe up until last week that Luke was kind of running number one there at guard. And it certainly does not seem the case. Ryan Day mentioned it last week. He mentioned about 4 different combinations on the right side of the line. And that was pretty interesting. That was pretty interesting to see that Luke was not the guy today. And he also got mollywopped once as well. But Chip Kelly was fantastic today. We're going to have a whole lot of fun with this offense with Chip. And hiding, some offensive line woes with Chip Kelly, it just might work out pretty well. But he did say in a press conference after the game that, they got 4. They're looking for that 5th. Standout player of the game for me, I think, was Mitchell Melton. Was the biggest surprise to me. He made a really big play early, and then I started keying in on him. He was doing great. Mitchell Melton was definitely a standout today. I'm going to run through some notes I took down, and we're going to start with the quarterbacks. So Devin looked pretty solid to me, but he did, Devin's got the knock that he escapes the pocket quick, and he looks jumpy sometimes. I did see 2 plays where I thought he escaped the pocket earlier than he should have. His final stat line was 5 of 7 for 66 yards and a touchdown. He looked pretty good on first watch. His balls downfield looked pretty well, better than Will's. I've heard a couple people, I saw him on Twitter, Will looks like he's clearly the guy. That's not the interpretation I got watching this at all. Will was 9 of 13 for 77 yards, and most of his completions were short. Everything downfield was slightly off. He did navigate the pocket well, which is a strength of his, and we did not get to see him run the ball. To me, those 2 look pretty even, Steven. I don't know. But it seems like most people are thinking Will's the guy here. That's just not what I took away from it. Lincoln had a couple unfortunate things happen to him, but he looked pretty good. He is fast. Well, that one time he escaped out of the pocket, that dude can turn it on. He is an athlete. I think most of us were really interested in seeing Julian Sayin, and we got to see a lot of him. I think he was in 5, maybe even 6 series. He started off not so hot, some pretty poor pocket awareness early on. He kind of drifted into a sack. Second series, he had a bad throw, then another bad throw, then a pick. And then he kind of turned it on a little later on. He had one series where he went, I think he went 4 for 4 on the series. He had one really slick pass to Will Kazmarek. So we didn't get to see a ton of great stuff from him, but I think he was turning it on as the day went on, getting settled in, and he looked like a freshman with a lot of potential. Aaron Nolan didn't get to play till the second half. I don't know. I think that tells us something, but we've known all along that he was running 5th. He looked pretty good. I thought he was pretty good. He was better than I thought he'd be. Yes, Quinshon Judkins did look fantastic. Trey's so fast. Trey looked great. I got a question, though. So I saw earlier this week, and I mentioned it in a previous show this week, that there is a line of thought that heading out of spring, that Ryan Day should let these guys know, the quarterbacks, kind of who the starter is, so that they could in turn make their decision whether or not they want to transfer. I saw Austin Ward ask that again today. Ryan Day said that he's going to kind of let them know where they stand, which, I don't know. I just don't agree with this line of thinking that somehow he owes it to them to tell them where they stand or do things differently than he normally would based on allowing them to transfer. I don't know why that's the expectation now in college football, that your coach should tell you where you stand and accelerate the process so that you can transfer. I don't know, man. It just doesn't make sense to me. And this guy keeps pushing it. He keeps pushing it. I saw him argue with Bobby Carpenter about it last night. He's been saying it for 2 weeks now, but I find it kind of odd. Anyway, JJ, the dude looks great in a uniform. We knew that. It was nice to see him out there, but we didn't get to see any awesome plays. I thought for sure we would get one. He didn't have much of a chance, really. But I think that Chip really wants to use Emeka as kind of a Swiss Army knife this year. I think we're going to see a lot more Emeka running the ball. He looks sharp, man. That dude is a great athlete. He looks yoked. That one catch he had was just ridiculous. What are you going to say? But Trey is a blur. Trey looked great. Quinn looked great. James Peoples is the truth. There's no doubt about it. You can see the skill there. You can see his vision. Kelly said about him today in his press conference afterwards that he has really good feel and vision, and he does. He's got great wiggle, and he's a moose. TC Caffey, I was so happy to see him score. You could see how happy he was. Everybody on the team loves TC Caffey. This dude's a walk-on. I don't know why. Sam Williams-Dixon, I'm not talking bad about Sam Williams-Dixon, but I saw both of them in their film coming out of high school. TC Caffey is a more explosive player to me. It's not even close. Sam Williams-Dixon did have a touchdown today and a great job by the offensive line and a hole that I could have ran through. He was wearing the Guardian helmet. I don't know what the deal is. Like, when did they assign you to wear the Guardian helmet? But if you're wearing that Guardian helmet, I don't know why you're in a full contact scrimmage like that. But that thing looks ridiculous, and I really hope that they don't normalize that in college football, because I would hate it if someday everybody was wearing that Guardian helmet. That thing drives me nuts. All for player safety, but if you got to wear it, I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't be playing. The O-line, Luke got really smashed by Hero Kanu one time. Hero looked really good today. Carson looked so much bigger. Carson was playing right guard, and I noticed that he looked bigger. They said he gained about 20 pounds. I noticed it earlier on in spring practice. He looked much bigger on the field out there. That's a good thing. I thought he looked pretty well at right guard. Austin Siervold, he was pretty good. Chip said that, 4 of the guys are really experienced on the offensive line, and we're looking for a 5th. I think we're on portal watch when it comes to the offensive line, and odds are we probably don't find a great fit because there's just not that many, and we don't see many enter the portal. So if they do a little tampering, maybe they can find one. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but all in all, I thought as a unit, they played pretty well against maybe the best defensive line in the country, and that defensive line looked fantastic. Cade McDonald blew up a couple plays. He looked really well. The tight ends, I don't know. I didn't see a whole lot. I'm going to have to check them out on rewatch, but we did see a couple catches. We saw 1 from Jelani Thurman. I think we saw 2 from Will Kaz. I didn't really key in on their blocking. I'd like to check that out later, and I will. But Edric Houston. Edric had a great play. He absolutely destroyed Zen Mikulski. Absolutely blew him up, and then came back on the inside and made the play. It was a really slick play. He looks good out there. He looks like he belongs as a true freshman. There's no doubt about that. And CJ Hicks, he looked pretty good. This format isn't really conducive to seeing, what the linebackers can really do. But CJ was out there running with the ones, and I thought he looked pretty well. The secondary was insane. This secondary is the best in the country, bar none. And when you look at what they've got coming in next year, this is going to be a run of excellent secondary play that we're going to see for quite a while. It's so exciting because if I'm choosing what can I have as my strength of the team, I'm going to choose first offensive line. If I'm choosing one unit, I want the offensive line to be the best unit. Second would be secondary. So we got my number 2 choice, I think, for what do I want to be the strongest unit. This day and age, the secondary is so important. Absolutely. So, yeah, the talent that these guys have Jermaine Matthews, man, this dude, he's got so much attitude. He's so good for a young kid. And I heard somebody say that maybe they would like to see him take over Igbinosun's spot. Igbinosun, man, I love that dude too. They go so deep in that secondary. It is amazing. But the broadcast, I thought it was really fun to watch on Fox. I think it was awesome hearing Coach Day on the field. That was really fun. We had a great story about from Urban about the black jerseys when he was talking in the broadcast with Gene Smith when Nike first brought in the black jerseys. And he said, I love tradition, but I love recruiting more. And you could just totally see that conversation unfolding. That was really fun. And that's pretty much all I got on First Watch, guys. If you have, hey, yo, Ohio 7715. There's my guy. Hey, Sean. What's up, buddy? Yeah, definitely have some dogs as DBs. I mean, they just go so deep and they're nasty. They're just a nasty unit. They all got a ton of attitude. Did anybody go down to the game today? Oh, Southeast Dago. What's up, buddy? Thanks for popping in. So I'm going to do a second watch of the game and take some more notes. I really want to key in on a couple of the defensive linemen and a couple of the offensive linemen. You know, sometimes when I'm watching the game, I don't really get to key in on those guys too much. But all in all, hey, I thought it was a fun game. At least it was entertaining. I was really happy we got to see Julian play so much, at least enough to get the nerves out after the first couple of series. It would have really sucked if we saw Julian go in there, play 3 series, not do so hot, and then didn't see him anymore. But absolutely a block wall in 2024. Yeah, the throwing against this defense, I mean, that's the other thing. We're trying to judge these quarterbacks against that unit. I mean, it's insane. And they said it on the telecast. Joel Klatt said it back there from behind. He said, looking out, you know, from the pocket, just how blanketed the coverage was. And it was just sick. I really didn't see anybody get any separation all day, but a whole lot of fun, man. A whole lot of fun. I really can't wait to watch it again, but I really am going to key in on the tight ends on second watch as well. But yeah, we definitely, the linebacker depth, I did not really see a whole lot of Arvell Reese. I got to check him out. He was somebody I was really looking forward to. But again, sometimes I don't notice a whole lot on first watch. I'll watch it again and check him out. But the linebacker depth is nasty, and it's really a room that's probably got the most freaky athletes in it for the size. But yeah, coverage was insane. My thoughts on Will Howard, you know, I mean, he is exactly who I thought he was. He stayed in the pocket pretty well, navigated the pocket well, whereas I thought Devin escaped early a couple times. But I tell you what, buddy, every downfield throw was a little bit off, which is kind of just what we always thought about him. And I have been hearing about him the entirety of spring. Everything downfield was just a little off. However, we didn't get to see him run the ball. And I think escaping with that run is maybe going to make up for some of that. It's just kind of pick your poison with both of those two, Devin and Will, for me. You know, each of them has a flaw. And, you know, who's it going to be? But I'll say this about Devin. I thought he looked less jumpy than we've seen him in the past. Maybe he's settling in a little more, gaining a little confidence or something. But that's a knock I've always had on Devin, is he just looks just jittery and jumpy. And he seemed to be pretty smooth today. He looked pretty smooth. But he did escape the pocket 2 plays too early, in my opinion. And we didn't see a ton out of him. If they'd have got more series, maybe they'd have settled in too. I don't know why they didn't give each of those 2 guys another series. You know, there's a thought that Day kind of wants them to come out of spring here, kind of being in a tie, so that, you know, they both stay. Maybe nobody really stands out. And, you know, who knows? It's definitely a difficult situation that Day's trying to navigate here. There's no doubt about that. But like I said, I don't think he owes it to anybody to say you're the starter now to give the other one the opportunity to transfer out. I don't think that should be the expectation in college football, that we're just expecting you to transfer if you don't win jobs. It's never been that way forever, and it's just not something I really like. So I don't know, guys. Yeah. So every one of our quarterbacks has an issue. That's why I'm so glad Chip is here. He's great at making the offensive plan around the guys he has. That is exactly what I love about Chip. Chip is, and we always talk about, what does a great coach do? A great coach doesn't try to fit his players to his scheme or his offense, but he fits what he's doing offensively to what they're best at. And I think Chip is, not everybody's capable of doing that, switching things up on a dime and doing things like that. I think Chip is really good. Ohio 7715, depth at running back. So look, I think TC Caffey is a scholarship level player. That's my opinion on him. I admit I got a soft spot for the guy. I don't know what everybody else feels about him. I think he's a better running back than Sam Williams-Dixon. I would like to see another guy in here. Kayron, the kid from UMass, is not a guy that I would look to see. Well, next year we're going to be so young that I would like to get a junior in here if we could. But if there's somebody out there, I definitely think they should bring one in, because to me, I hate to knock him, but I just don't think Sam Williams-Dixon is a guy that I would ever want to see if it got down to that point. So, yeah, I would definitely like to see myself. I don't know what you guys think. All right, fellas. TC Caffey. Hey, what's up, Becca? Yes, definitely should have a scholarship. Hey, I love both the dudes. They're both Ohio dudes. They're both Ohio running backs. I just don't see. I don't see the speed and the burst. I really, honestly, when we talking about Sam Williams-Dixon, I didn't see it in high school. I didn't see it when they offered him. It's just, I mean, he played good today. There's no doubt. I just don't see the juice from him like I'm accustomed to seeing from an Ohio State level running back. But an awesome dude. I like the young guy. He's a good dude, and he's a depth piece. What I really don't understand is I don't know. I've heard people talk about him in a scat back role or a Curtis Samuel role. That's something I've not seen from him at all. I don't really see that at all. But I obviously I'm rooting for every Buckeye, and I hope he proves me wrong. It's just I think TC Caffey is I think he's a legit guy who can play at Ohio State, and we saw it. That one touchdown run he had against, I think it was Youngstown State. That was legit. That was legit. Yeah, Sam did look good today. He did look good. But anyway, fellas, I was so nervous for this. I appreciate you joining me. My first live telecast. It's a very nerve-wracking thing for me. I'm not used to this at all. Just a couple weeks in. So just wanted to pop on, give my thoughts here, get the feel. I'm going to watch the game again and probably do another show where we talk about it later on this week. But for now, I'm going to head out and go start cooking dinner for the old lady. So I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much. Appreciate it, buddy. Appreciate it, Luke. Thanks, Ohio. Thanks, Sean. Thanks for joining me, guys.